It's my pleasure to be here, Mark.
And a very familiar voice that greeted us for quite a few years now. The man behind the Annual Kutztown Festival is here. He'll play a big role in making the Mom's Day event as great as the festival. Dave Fooks, nice to hear from you again.
Thank you very much for having me, Mark. I always love talking with you.
Well, Bob, first for you, a little bit of history, if we might, before we move forward. The year was 1999. Does this voice sound familiar?
We were sitting around and wondering how we could keep food on the table. And we decided to pray and ask the Lord to lead us. And my wife had made some Christmas figurines on the side where we could make a little extra pin money at Christmas time. Mm-hmm. And we all of a sudden it dawned on us that we know how to make these things, but we didn't know how to sell them.
Does that sound familiar to you, Bob?
Oh, very familiar. That's my dear old dad.
Well, can you pick up from where he left off and kind of tell us the Byers' Choice story?
Well, sure. After my mom made the very first figures, and we're selling them in consignment stores. My father, he was what would today be called flipping houses, I guess, and had a couple projects go south on him simultaneously. And so he just took my mom's handcrafts and decided to take them around to other stores and found enough of an interest that we had to start hiring some other artisans to help her make them. And from there, the business kind of just took off. We call it my mom's hobby that's gotten out of control.
So where are you today in terms of, the different variety of figurines that go out and the numbers and the different places you can find them?
Well, we sell to about 2,000 retailers across the country, mostly mom-and-pop gift shops, but some fine catalogs, department stores, things like that, and a handful of locations overseas as well. And we focus on all kinds of different Christmas themes. Some of them date back to Charles Dickens and Victorian England. Yeah. Some of them are just different Santa Clauses with different traditions. And, of course, the new collection that my mother put out this year that's getting a lot of attention is she's starting a new nativity for us.
Oh, nice. Well, of course, the carolers are the center focus. Did she ever tell the story of why she thought of doing carolers?
She started doing carolers because back in the late 60s, you can imagine Christmas was going very space age with lots of blues and green, or blues and silvers, and she that was not Christmas to her. It was very traditional. It was at home. It was around the fireplace, if you will. And the thing that she was thinking about was people getting together and feeling good, and that comes out in singing.
It does. One of my best memories of childhood is my father, who grew up in a little town in southern York County called Glen Rock, PA. His dream was to sing with the Glen Rock Carolers as they went around every year on Christmas Eve. And the year he finally got to do that, we bought him a Byers' Choice caroler to always remember that opportunity he had.
That is terrific. So often what we find is people who purchase carolers, there is a memory just like that associated with each one, and that really makes it a very, very special gift.
More about the carolers and more about the Byers' Choice in a second, but specifically about the Byers' Choice Mother's Day Craft Show. Dave, what are some of the elements that will make this show special?
Well, I think the fact that the Byers are producing it is going to be the number one item. I've known the Byers family for quite some time, and everything they do very, very well. And they have put together a craft show of, I think, the finest collection of craftsmen I've ever seen. And as you know, I've seen a lot of craftsmen.
Yes,
these are the best Bucks County traditional crafts, as well as a lot of contemporary crafts, primarily aimed for the lady of the house, which makes it perfect for Mother's Day weekend. Everything from, well, my favorite's fudge, but then have wonderful jewelry, wonderful clothing, a lot of things for the home, decorator items, and there's even stuff for men, too. There's decoy carving and so forth there. Some of these craftsmen will be demonstrating. They all are very high quality. They went through a rigorous jury process, And I think the nice thing is that this is going to be an annual event from this point on. It's the first annual, but I think this is going to become truly a Mother's Day tradition for Bucks County.
Well, the participant list is online at ByersChoiceCraftShow.com. I have our listeners linked right to it right now on the Mark Daniels Show page at WFIL.com. That's ByersChoiceCraftShow.com. I see on that list weavers, painters, potters, tinsmiths, quilters. This is a pretty diverse group, especially for a first-time show, Dave.
Yes, it is. And I'll tell you, we got such a huge number of applications, and it is primarily because of the Byers reputation. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. They have one of the finest reputations for a business in southeast Pennsylvania, and particularly in the crafts industry. They've been so supportive of the crafts industry through the years, and it's when the craftsmen heard that they were going to be doing a show, everybody just kind of flocked to it.
Yeah. Now, this will be on-site at the Byers Choice Building. Bob, you have an expo facility there, right?
It's becoming that way, it seems. What we're doing is we're clearing the production floor. We have such a huge respect for craftspeople and the work they do that we felt this was kind of a natural extension, and we wanted to do something to really support them. So we're going to close the factory down a little before the weekend to clear out where we normally make the carolers. The craftspeople will be there, and I guess we have about 70 or so.
Yeah.
And then in addition to that, of course, we'll have quite a bit going on in our visitor center to help supplement that.
That'll be great. Show hours Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday 10 to 4:30. The admission price is nominal to start, and you can download a discount coupon from the website as well as directions to the show in Chalfont. Again, that's the website we already have you linked to online, ByersChoiceCraftShow.com. Have I left anything out, Dave?
Yeah, you know what? I would like to point out a couple things. They're going to have a large area of activities for children, so bring the kids. There'll be a lot of things for kids to do. Also, at the Byers facility is one of the most wonderful Christmas museums you're ever going to see. And there's also demonstrations. You can see how the dolls are made and so forth. But the whole facility is just unbelievable. People go there and they just can't believe there's something like this in Bucks County and they didn't know about it.
It was neat to call, and I waited about 10 seconds for Bob to come on, and